Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha. Taram Yat Samudrasya Himadreschaiva Dakshinam Varsham Tad Bharatam Nama Bharati Yatra Santatihi. Welcome to all for this session on Skanda Purana to chapter 21 of the Kedar Khanda and of the Maheshwara Khanda. In the previous chapter, we have seen that Tarakasura, the son of Namuchi, became the leader of Daityas and started fighting with the Devas, Suras. And the Tarakasura got a boon from the Brahma that only a infant can kill him and nobody else. And since all the gods have already been cursed for not having any children, the only way of getting an infant to kill the Tarakasura is a new son, a newborn for Shiva. However, Shiva is now lonely because of the death of Sati. Sati had given up her life during the Dakshayagna, and the ethereal voice also told all the devatas that only the son of Shiva will be able to slay Taraka. So they are in search of, they are in the effort of ensuring the marriage of Shiva, and they requested Himavanta to give birth to Girija so that she will marry Shiva. And Girija got incarnated in the house of Himavanta. Lomasha said, the chapstick girl Girija grew up day by day and shone very much, living in the house of Himalaya. He reached the age of 8 years. Time Mahesha was performing a great penance in a valley of Himalaya. He was surrounded by all the groups of Ganas, Virabhadra, and others. Accompanied by Parvati, the intelligent Himavan went to Mahesha, engaged in his penance in order to see his spout like feet. When he arrived thus in order to see the Lord, he was stopped by Nandi, who was standing at the entrance. Then, for a moment, he stood steady. The mountain Himavan informed through Nandi to Shambhu. Shambhu was informed by Nandi that the mountain Himavan had come to see him. On hearing his words, Parameshwara spoke these words to Nandi, bring the Himavan here, saying, so be it, and honoring the words, Nandi brought the mountain Himachala to Shankara, the benefactor of the world. He saw Shiva, the lord of everyone, engaged in penance with his eyes closed. He had matted hair with the digit of the moon on as an ornament. He could be understood only through the Vedanta and was stationed in the Supreme Soul. On seeing him, mountain Himachala of impaired inherent strength bent down his head and saluted him. He then attained the greatest joy. Himalaya, the foremost among those conversant with the use of words, spoke these words to Lord, who is the sole cause of auspiciousness to the universe. I am lucky, O Shankara, the great Lord. Thanks to your grace, I shall come here every day, O Lord, pay a visit along with my daughter. Behoves you, O Lord of Devas, to grant me permission. On hearing his words, Maheshwara, the Lord of Devas, said, O mountain, you may come here every day to meet me, but keeping this girl in the house. Otherwise, there would be no audience with me. With his neck bent down, the mountain replied to Girija, why should I not come along with this girl Girija? Let that be told. Shambhu, who was performing the holy rites, laughingly spoke these words to the mountain. This slender bodied girl of good looks and exquisite speech should not be brought near me. I am forbidding it repeatedly. Then Girija heard Shambhu's harsh words, devoid of blemishes and free from any desire. On hearing the words uttered by that ascetic, Gauri laughed and spoke to Shambhu. Gauri said, O Shambhu, you are endowed with power of penance. You are performing a great penance. This inclination for performing penance you have because you are noble soul. But let this be pondered over. Who are you? Who is the subtle Prakriti, O Holy Lord? On hearing those words of Parvati, Mahesha spoke these words: I am destroying Prakriti by means of the greatest penance itself. In fact, O lady of good eyebrows, I will stay without Prakriti. Hence, nothing that has been evolved out of Prakriti should be accumulated together at any time by Siddhas. Parvati then said, what has been said by you, O Shankara, by means of para speech, is it not Prakriti? In that place, how are you beyond it, O Lord? Of what avail is your disputation and argument? Whatever you hear, whatever you see, and whatever you eat, O Shankara, is entirely the evolute of Prakriti, and an untrue speech is meaningless. Why should penance be performed after going beyond Prakriti? O Lord Shambhu, just now on this mountain Himalaya you have met Prakriti, but you cannot understand it. O Shankara, what have we to do with what is the proper propriety of oral dispute and argument, O Lord? If your statement that you are beyond Prakriti is true, you need not be afraid of me now, O Shankara. Then Lord Shankara laughed and replied to Girija. Mahadeva said, okay, serve me every day, O Girija of excellent speech. After saying thus to Girija, Mahesha spoke these words to Himalaya. Here itself, on this very ground, I shall perform a great penance with concentration on the ultimate truth. Permission should be granted to me for performing the penance. O Lord of mountains, without your permission, it is not possible to perform penance. On hearing these words of the trident bearing Lord of Devas, Himavan laughed and spoke these words to Shambhu. The entire universe, along with devas, asuras, and human beings, belongs to you. I am an insignificant person, O Mahadeva. How can I give you? On being told thus by Himavan, Shankara, the benefactor of all the world, laughed and respectfully said to Lord of Mountains, you may go. Permitted to go by Shankara, Himavan went to his abode. Every day he came there along with Girija to pay a visit. Thus, some time passed when the father and the daughter continued their visits and service, but Shankara was difficult to be tackled and won over. Suras began to worry about Parvati. How will Shankara join Girija? Was the thought worrying the minds of Suras. They asked, O Brahaspati, what should we do now? Tell us, do not delay. Brahaspati spoke the following good words of advice to Mahendra. O Mahendra, this must be done by you. Let it be heard. This task can be carried out only by Madana, the god of love. King, none else will be competent for it in all the three worlds. The penance of many ascetics has been upset by him. Hence, Mara, the god of love, should be requested in this matter immediately. On hearing the words of Guru Brahaspati, the preceptor, Indra sent for Madana. Madana, who accomplished the task, came there on receipt of the call, accompanied by Rati and Madhava, that is the spring season, Vasanta Madhava, spring season. The flower armed deity came to the assembly in front of Mahendra and spoke these proud words in a manner captivating the minds of the people. Why have I been called today, O Sachipati? Tell me what work should I do? Do not delay. The moment they think about me, the ascetics meet with their downfall. You do know, O Indra, my valor and prowess. Parashara, the son of Shakti, knows my power and vigor. Thus, many other sages, such as Bhrigu, do know about it. Brahaspati too knows it, as well as the wife of Utatya. Bharadwaja was born of her begotten by Guru and was thus illegitimate. Guru had then said, Bharadwaja means bear two son, bear of two. I mean, the someone who was born out of two simultaneously. Prajapati knows my heroism and powerful valor. Krodha, the anger, is my kinsman. He has great strength and valor. By both of us, this great universe consisting of mobile and immobile beings has been conquered. That means liquidated, excited, and stirred up. Everything beginning with Brahma and ending with a blade of grass, the whole world of mobile and immobile being has been flooded and overwhelmed by us. Devas then said to Madana, O Madana, you are capable of always conquering us, but go immediately to Mahesha for accomplishing the task of Suras. Unite Shambhu with Parvati, O highly intelligent one. On being requested thus by Devas, Madana, the enchanter of the universe, went away from that place immediately in the company of celestial damsels, but wielder of the great bow made the twangling sound of his ivory bow. He put him charming and fascinating arrows. That hero, the sole conqueror of the world, the most excellent one among warriors, Smara, was then seen on the grounds of the mountain Himavan. Then all these celestial damsels came there, namely Rambha, Urvashi, Punjikasthali, Sumalochana, Sumaloka, Mishrakeshi, Subhaga, and Tilottama. There were others also to render different kinds of assistance to Madana. These damsels were seen by Ganas, that means the attendants of Shiva, along with Madana. All the Ganas were suddenly enchanted by Madana. Rambha was approached by Bringi, Urvashi by Chanda, Menaka by Virabhadra, and Punjakastali by Khanda or the Munda. Tilottama and others were surrounded by the Ganas then who had become mad and abandoned all shame, although they were highly high minded and learned. The whole of the earth was pervaded by cuckoos, though it was not the proper spring season at that time. Ashoka, Champaka, mangoes, jasmine, kadambas, nipas, priyalas, Priyalasa, Vanalasa, Panasas, and Rajavak Vrikshas, wine creepers, Nagakesharas, plantains, Ketakis, etc. All these trees were in full bloom and they were rendered beautiful by trees. By the contact of Madana, Kalahamsikas became intoxicated in the company of female swans. He elephants with she elephants and peacocks with peahens. Though all these had been free from lust due to the qualities rising from the contact with Shiva, they now become excited because till that time, in the presence of Shiva, they had given up all their feelings of lust. However, now because of the Madana, they all now got excited. The highly refulgent Nandi, the son of Shailada and of immeasurable infinite valor, pondered over this. Why have these become so all of a sudden? This must be the working of Rakshasas or of gods. In the meantime, Madana took up his bow and fixed 5 arrows to it. O Brahmanas, he restored to the shade of Devadaru tree. He saw Shambhu performing his penance. The Lord was seated on an excellent seat. He was the Lord of all Parameshtis. He kept Ganga within his matted hair. His throat was blue in color like Kamala. He had matted hair. He had the crescent moon as an embellishment. All his limbs were marked by the coiled bodies of many serpents. He had 5 faces. His gait was in long strides like that of a lion. He was fair in complexion like camphor. He was accompanied by Para. Madana was desirous of piercing the fierce ascetic Mahesha, very difficult to access and the most excellent among highly refulgent ones. In the company of Madhava means the spring, he has he was about to hit Shiva with his arrow when Girija, the mother of universe, came there. She was surrounded by her friends. She approached Sadashiva, the most auspicious of all auspicious ones, for the sake of worship, placed a garland of golden flowers on Nilakanta. At that time, she had a rare splendor. She appeared very beautiful with white rays diffused all around. The mother of all people looked lovingly at the handsome face of Shiva when her eyes bloomed and expanded widely as she smiled. At that time, Shambhu was hit and pierced with a arrow called Mohana, the enchanter. Suddenly on being hit, Shambhu opened his eyes so slowly. The Lord saw Girija like the ocean viewing the digit of the moon. She had a beautiful, delightful face. Her lips were like bimba fruit. Her eyes brightened with her smile. Her teeth were fine and excellent. She appeared as though she had come out of fire. She had a slender body with a beautiful and wide face. Gauri had all the signs of pleasure within her. He was capable of enchanting the entire universe. It was she who created the three worlds along with Brahma and others, making use of the qualities of Rajas, Sattva, and Tamas. She caused the origin, sustenance, and annihilation of the world. That enchanting goddess, the sole cause of auspiciousness of all auspicious things, was seen in front of Hara, who was awakened. On seeing Girija, the sanctifier of all the worlds, Lord Bhava became fascinated. At her sight, he was afflicted by Madana. Shiva's eyes suddenly became expanded due to surprise. The Lord of the universe, the Lord of Devas, began to look around with a mind pained much. Sadashiva said thus, I am engaged in penance, I am devoid of blemishes. Yet how was I enchanted by this girl? When, why, and by whom was this done, causing my displeasure? Then Shambhu looked in all directions earnestly. Madana was seen by him in the south with the bow lifted up. The god of love bent his bow like a circle, keep it ready, drawn in order to pierce and wound Sadashiva. By the time he was able to discharge the arrow, the O Brahmanas, he was stared at by Mahesha angrily. He was looked at with the third eye by the greatest lord. Madana was instantly encircled by a cluster of flames. There was a loud wailing among Devas who stood there watching. Devas said, O Mahendra, Lord of Devas, be the bestower of boons on Devas. It was to help Girija that Madana had been sent now. In vain was Madana of great luster burned by you. It is by you alone, the sole kinsman of the universe, that the task of Suras should be carried out by means of your great splendor. O Lord Shambhu, a son will be born of her, means Girija, and by him alone can our objective be achieved. That means a son born to Girija and Shiva, with that only the objective of Devas will be achieved. O Mahadeva, Devas are very much afflicted by Taraka. For that purpose, grant life unto Madana and woo Girija, O Lord of exalted fortune. Please be capable of accomplishing the task of Devas. All of us, the heaven dwellers, were protected by you from the demon in the shape of an elephant. Certainly, that is basically Gajasura, who was killed by Shiva in the past. Certainly, we have been saved from Kalakuta poison by you at the time of turning of the ocean. Undoubtedly, we have been protected from Bhasmasura by you, O Lord of everything. This Madana came here for accomplishing the task of Suras, hence he should be protected. That will be a great help to us also. Without him, O Shankara, the entire universe will be ruined. How can you also be devoid of Kama, the love? Let this be pondered over by your own intellect. When Maheshwara, who was overwhelmed by anger, spoke to Devas, you must all be without the Kama, means the desire, cannot be otherwise. It was when Kama was kept at the head that all the Devas, including Vasava, had a fall from their positions. They were overwhelmed by misery and became wretched. Certainly, Kama is the cause of a fall into the hell in the case of all living beings. This Ananga, the bodiless one, is an embodiment of misery. Understand what I say. Taraka, too, whose conduct of life is very bad, will be devoid of karma. How can a man commit a sin without karma? Hence, for the sake of peace and calmness unto everyone, karma was burned by me. Let the mind be directed towards penance by you all. Suras, Asuras, the great sages, and other living beings, the entire universe has been rendered by me rid of love and anger. Hence, I will not resuscitate this sinner because of misery. O Suras, waiting for that soul form which is not other than you all, which yields spiritual pleasure and enlightenment, and which is characterized by bliss, it is difficult to gauge its depth. So hence Shiva here is telling that if desire or the karma is completely burned down, then it will be easy for all the men to achieve the salvation. On being told thus by Shambhu Parameshti, all the great sages spoke to Shankara, the benefactor of all the world. What has been said by your honor, O Shambhu? It is indeed exceedingly conducive to our welfare, but we shall say something which may be listened to attentively and comprehended fully. This universe was permeated by Kama and Krodha, even while it was being created. That means at the time of creation itself, they got added into that. Indeed, the whole of it is in the form of Kama. That Kama is not killed. O Mahadeva, it was by karma that the four aims of life, namely dharma, virtue, artha, the wealth, kama, the love, and moksha, the salvation, have been given a single composite form. And now you have killed karma. It was by karma that the universe of nature, of everything from Brahma to an immobile being, has been united together. How was that karma very difficult to be tackled indeed is burned by you. The universe decays and declines due to karma. The universe is protected and sustained by karma. The universe is produced by karma. Hence, karma is very powerful. It is from karma that the fierce Krodha takes its origin. You yourself have been won over by Krodha because with that Krodha anger only you have burned karma into ashes. Hence, O Mahadeva, it behoves you to resuscitate Kama, who is invincible. Indeed, O Lord, the mighty Madana has been brought under control by you. Only a man of power can exercise this power because of being powerful. Though he was entreated thus by the sages, Hara's anger became doubled. He became desirous of burning even those siddhas by means of his third eye. The Pinaka bearing emblemed Rudra Sadashiva was bowed to and eulogized by the sages Charanas, Siddhas, and Ganas. An account of his anger after burning Madana and leaving off that mountain named Himavan, he vanished immediately. The lofty minded goddess Girija saw that the Lord had vanished and that Manmatha had been burned along with the cuckoos, mango trees, bees, and champaka flowers. On seeing Madana burned down, Rati began to cry for a long time, shedding tears. The goddess pondered over this with great dejectedness. She was anxious as to how to win over Rudra. After pondering over this for a long time, the chaste lady Girija fainted. Rati saw Girija, whose beauty was very great, who was high minded and crying. And then Rati spoke to Girija, "Dear friend, do not get dejected. I shall resuscitate Madana to life. For your sake, O wide eyed lady, by means of penance, I shall propitiate Hara, Rudra, Virupaksha, the Lord of Devas, the Father of universe. Do not be anxious, O lady of beautiful lips and buttocks. I shall revive Madana back to life. After consoling thus the daughter of the mountain Girija, the chaste lady Rati immediately proceeded to perform a great penance. The lady of excellent waistline performed the penance in order to get back her husband. She performed the penance at the very same time where Madana was burnt by Rudra, the supreme soul. Narada saw her performing the penance. He hastened to the side of the beautiful lady Rati and said, "Whom do you belong to, O lady of wide eyes? What for are you performing the penance? You are a young woman richly endowed with beauty and great conjugal felicity." On hearing the words of Narada, she became very angry. She spoke these harsh words in a sweet manner. Rati said, "You have been recognized by me. You are Narada. Undoubtedly, you are a bachelor. O sage of holy rites, it behoves you not to show your form. Go back along the path you have come by. Do not delay. O Vatu, you do not know anything. You are only a great quarrelmonger. You are a leader among the following groups of people: those who are passionately devoted to other men's wives, insignificant persons, libertines, those who indulge in vices, those who are stubborn, those who do not perform any holy rites." On being rebuked thus by Rati, the excellent sage Narada himself hurriedly went to Shambhara, the leading Daitya. He intimated to the king of Daityas that Madana had been burned by Rudra, who had become furious. Then he continued, "His wife is a noble minded lady. Bring her here, O highly fortunate one. Make her your wife, O mighty one. Among all those beautiful ladies who have been brought by you, that Rati, the wife of Madana, will be the most beautiful one." On hearing these words of the celestial sage of sanctified soul, he went to that place where the highly splendid lady was staying. On seeing Rati, the large eyed enchantress of Madana, Sambara, the cause of the grief of Devas, laughingly said these words: "O slender bodied lady, come along with me, enjoy my kingdom and its pleasure as much as you wish. O gentle lady, by my favor, of what avail is the penance? On being told thus by Shambhara of great soul, that slender bodied queen of Madana spoke these words in sweet voice. I am a widow, O mighty one. It does not behove you to speak thus. You are the king of all the Daityas with all the royal characteristics. On hearing this word, Shambhara, who was deluded by lust, became desirous of catching hold of her hand. He was prevented by Rati. He pondered over his invincibility mentally and said, O foolish one, do not touch me. You will be burned by the fire arising from my contact. My words cannot be otherwise. Then Shambhara of great splendor said laughingly, O proud lady, do you want to terrify me with many threats like this? Go ahead to my abode quickly. Of what avail is so much of talk? The slender bodied, lofty minded lady was forcibly taken to his great city by Shambhara, who was addressed thus by Rati. He was made the head in charge of his kitchen under the name Mayavati. The sages asked, was everything authorized by Parvati regarding bringing Madana back to life? The slender bodied beloved of Madana was abjected by Shambhara. Subsequent to this, O Suta, what happened there? Let it be described. Suta said, on seeing that Shiva had gone away after burning Madana with his great prowess, the beautiful lady Parvati stayed there itself and engaged herself in penance. The slim lady was inquired by her father and mother, O girl, come back to our abode quickly. Do not exert yourself. It does not behove you to strain yourself. On being told thus by both of them, Girija spoke these words. Parvati said, I am not coming home. O mother, O father, listen to me clearly. This is a true statement of mine, full of dharma, mean virtue, and artha, the prosperity, whereby you will be contented and delighted. Shambhu is greater than the greatest. The mighty Madana was burned by him. I shall bring that Shiva to my presence here itself. Shambhu is difficult to access to those who wish for a home, means the homely comforts. Hence, O mother, I am not coming home. Let all these things be pondered over. Himavan of great refulgence then said to his daughter, Shiva, who did not bow down to Devas themselves, cannot easily be propitiated. Indeed, it is impossible for you to attain him, hence you go back to your own abode. With her throat up by and filled with tears, Mena, the mother of Girija, she said to her daughter, O slim girl, proceed homewards quickly. Then Parvati laughed and said to her mother, listen to my woe, dear mother. Indeed, with my great penance, I shall fetch that clever lord here itself and woo him. O lady of excellent complexion, I shall destroy the Rudratva, the dreadfulness of Rudra. Abandoning all pleasure, the lofty minded daughter of the mountain performed the propitiation of Jambhu by means of profound meditation. Many of the Girija's friends attended upon her, namely Jaya, Vijaya, Madhavi, Sulochana, Sushrata, Shruta, Sukhi, Pramlocha, Subhaga, Shyami, Chitrangi, Karuni, Swadha, and many others such as the beautiful lady Devagarbha, etc. Performing the great penance, the lady of sweet laughter built an altar exactly at the place where Madana was burned by the noble soul Rudra. She established herself above upon it. She refrained from drinking water and subsisted on leaves. Thereafter, she avoided green leaves and took up only dried ones. Later on, she stopped eating even those dried leaves too. When the lady of slender waist when she gave up even those dried leaves, she became famous as Aparna. After a lapse of great deal of time, the chastised daughter of the mountain gave up drinking even the water and became engaged in subsisting on air alone. Then she supported her body on a single bed. So, with the greatest contentment, the chastised lady propitiated Shankara by means of austere penance for the sake of the delight of Shankara too. Resorting to the noblest of mental feelings, the goddess, the cause of the auspiciousness of all auspicious things, performed the greatest penance for the delight and pleasure of Mahesha. Thus she performed the penance for 1,000 divine years. Then, accompanied by his wife Himalaya, came there to his daughter Parvati, who had determined to practice the penance in the capacity of a trustworthy advisor. He spoke to Mahasati Girija, do not get afflicted and don't strain yourself, O Mahadevi, O dreadful one, by performing this penance. Where is Rudra seen? Oh girl, undoubtedly he is devoid of love and attachment. You are very young and slim. Due to this penance, you will become confounded. Undoubtedly, I am speaking the truth. Hence, O lady of excellent complexion, get up and go home immediately. You have all. What have you to do with that Rudra by whom formerly Madana has been burned because he was devoid of any feelings? That means Mahesha do not have any feeling. He showed it by burning the Madana. O sinless one, how will you solicit him as a husband? Just as the moon stationed in the sky cannot be grasped, so also Shambhu is difficult to be attained. O girl of pure smiles, understand this. Similarly, the chaste lady was told by Mena, Sakhya mountain, Meru, Mandara, and Mainaka. On being urged thus by these, the slim girl Parvati of pure smiles, who was engaged in the penance, spoke to Himavan laughingly. Has what had been said by me before been forgotten by you, father? O mother, has it been forgotten by you too? O my kinsman, listen to my woe now itself. By means of my penance, I will gratify Shankara, the benefactor of the world. This great lord is detached and devoid of any attachment because Madana has been killed by him. All of you, please go. You need not worry in this matter. By means of my penance, I will bring him here. I will bring that lord by whom Madana was burned and by whom the forest of the mountain was burned. Indeed, Shiva can be conveniently served through great power of penance. Understand him, O exceedingly fortunate ones. It is true, I am saying the truth. The daughter of King of Mountains, he who habitually spoke very little, conversed thus with her mother Mena and father Himalaya, and also with Meru and Mandara. When those mountains went away the way they had come, while glancing this way and that, when all of them had gone, the chaste lady, with the greatest being of as her object of desire, performed the penance surrounded by her friends. By that great penance, the entire universe, consisting of mobile and immobile beings, became scorched. At that time, all suras and asuras sought refuge in Brahma. Devas said, O Lord, the whole of this universe, mobile and immobile, has been created by you. It behoves you to save us. Devas, behoves you to save we Devas. None other than you can be capable of protecting us. On hearing these words, Brahma pondered over them mentally. He understood that a great fire had been produced by the great penance of Girija. Having realized it, Brahma immediately went to the wonderful ocean of milk. There he saw Lord Vishnu sleeping on his excellent and exceedingly splendid couch named Sesha. The pair of his feet was continuously served or kneaded by Lakshmi. He was served by Tarksha, means Garuda, with stooping neck and standing a little away. He was also served by Shri, Kanti, Shanti, Vritti, Daya, and others. Vishnu was accompanied by the nine Shaktis. He was surrounded by his Parshadas, means the attendants, Kumuda, Kumudvini, Kumudvan, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana of exalted fortune, Prashupta, Vijaya, Harijita, Jayanta, Jayatsena, Jaya of great luster, Sanat Kumara of excellent power of penance, Narada, Tumburu, and others served him and attended after upon him. The great conch of Vishnu named Panchajanya, his iron club Kaumodiki, the discus Sudarshana, and the exceedingly wonderful bow Sharanga, all these were seen in embodied form by Parameshti. All the Suras and the Danavas came very near Vishnu, the great Atman. On the shore of the ocean of the great Atman, they spoke to Vishnu, the Lord of Parameshti. Save us, O great Vishnu, save us who have been scorched and who have been sought refuge in you. We have been scorched by the severe and dreadful penance of Parvati. The great Lord sat up on his couch, Shesha, and said, I shall go to the Supreme Lord Shiva along with you all. O Suras, we shall pray to Mahadeva in the matter of Girija. There itself we shall do something so that the Pinaka bearing Lord of Devas will be led to grasp her hand and marry her. Hence we shall go to that place where the great Lord Rudra is seated, where the greatest cause of auspiciousness is engaged in a severe penance. Yeah, basically, here the greatest cause of auspiciousness is the Shiva himself. On hearing the words of Vishnu, all Suras and Asuras said, we will not approach the uneven three eyed god, that is Virupaksha of great luster. He will burn us in the same manner as he has burned the unconquerable Madana formerly. There is no doubt in this regard. Lord Vishnu, the great Lord, laughed and said, all of you need not be afraid. Sadashiva is the embodiment of auspiciousness. He is the destroyer of fear of all devas. He will not burn you. Hence, O clever ones, all of you must go along with me. I seek refuge in Shambhu, who is the ancient Purusha, is overlord of the excellent form, who is greater than the greatest and is engaged in penance. His form is the greatest one, and he is greater than the greatest. Thus ended chapter 1 of the Kedar Khanda under Maheshwara Khanda, in which we have seen Girija is all set to win the heart of Shiva, while Shiva is deep in his penance, neglecting Girija. However, the power of Girija's penance is scorching the entire world, causing agony to all the devas and all other living beings. नमस्ते शारदा देवी काश्मीरपुरवासिनी त्वामहं प्रार्थये नित्यं विद्यादानं च देहि मे. Goodbye.